Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this Macro 4 webinar. My name is Phil Oldfield, and I'm a Client Services Consultant at Macro 4. Now, just so you know, we are recording this webinar today.
Thanks, Phil. I'm Sam Dix. I'm also a Client Services Consultant here at Macro 4. For those that are new to Macro 4, we've been going since 1968 and are part of the Unicom Global group of companies. Macro 4 develop and support enterprise information management solutions based upon our Columbus technology. And we also provide mainframe and mid-range systems management solutions.
Right, before we move on, we have muted the lines, but if you do have any questions, please use the chat items function. This is this speech bubble icon within the on-screen menu at the bottom of the screen, and it should be the second icon from the right. We will endeavour to answer any questions you may have at the end of the webinar. Okay, so today we'll be talking about our customers' experiences with a range of finance-related issues, Macro 4's customer communications management solution and how it's being used. We'll then provide a demonstration of the solution in action, and after the demonstration, we'll answer any questions and cover next steps.
Great, thanks, Phil. So our experiences with customers has led to the following areas which you will recognise. That customers query documents. Where is the item? For in case of proof of deliveries. I don't have a copy of the invoices referenced in the statement. Have I been credited for this order? Servicing these requests takes your time and your effort. Customers query documents, as mentioned, and those queries can then lead to delays in paying invoices. As a finance user, how do you know that an invoice has been received so you can chase the payment? As a result, your DSO, that's the day sales outstanding, increases. In addition, your customers have to key in invoice details into their own finance systems, leading to further delays in payments. And you either manually produce or send documents. Some are even still posted. As an end result, the finance director is not happy.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had a massive effect on all of our lives, both personally and professionally. Macro 4 recently carried out a survey of IT leaders, and the results were very interesting. We'll provide a link to the survey at the end of the webinar. 81% said that the need to react quickly to the pandemic forced organisations to fast-track technology changes to adapt to new ways of working. Over 70% of the sample stated that over the next 12 months, organisations will have to invest in upgrading or replacing some of the technology that they had to implement quickly in response to the pandemic. From those finance-related issues we talked about on the last slide, we can see that any existing processes, be these manual or automated, paper or digital, will have been put under stress by the pandemic effects. In addition, any changes that have been made over the last 12 to 18 months may not have been the best changes to have made.
Interesting information there, Phil. Well, our solutions have helped customers resolve their finance issues and also those made worse by the pandemic. You may be a Columbus OM customer or a Columbus DW customer, or even someone who's never seen Columbus before. Either way, our solutions can help. We help by reducing the number of calls to your finance staff by providing documents when they're needed by the end customer. In addition, we can help the customers view new and as well as historical documents when they want to. You can understand when customers have viewed or accessed their documents and also have those that have not. By then adding in automation to contact the customer on their chosen channel, including reminding them of unviewed or, for example, unpaid invoices, it leaves your credit controllers with an up-to-date list of invoices to chase. Further, an option to send extracts of the invoice, credit, or statement data, along with the document, enables your customers to import that data into their finance packages instead of copying and pasting or manually entering the details, thereby speeding up the payment process and reducing errors. Any documents that you're sending out is in paper that can be converted to digital or improve an existing digital process, making it more convenient for your customer. The end result is a reduction in the DSO, that's the day sales outstanding we mentioned earlier, and a happier finance director.
Okay, so we will run through a demonstration of our CCM solution, which is sort of relating to e-invoicing in a second for you. In the interest of time, the ingesting and orchestrating documents process has already happened.
And we're going to have two personas, a finance person, and that's me, and then a customer.
And that will be me. So over to you, Sam.
Right, let's switch over to the system itself. So we've got a batch of documents pushed through. It's gone through the orchestration process, and for the finance user, I can see the documents that have been sent and their status. So here I've got the Columbus DW web user interface, the WUI, and I'm showing different documents here. So what we call the match list for those that haven't seen Columbus before. Different types of documents, things like account number, invoice number, and importantly for this purpose, we've also got the viewed status. So these are all set to new at the moment. And then you have the reminder status and the paid status. So we're going to be working with those later on. So just to reiterate, from the finance side of things, I can see what's happening.
Yeah, and from the customer's perspective then, so here we've got an example of a customer portal. The documents displayed in the list all relate to the different accounts that my user profile is authorized to view. Various transformations of documents are available. So the underlying data can be accessed in multiple ways. And here we're going to open a PDF view of the document here. And in a second, you should see the invoice pop up. There we go. So also as a customer, I've received an email which has landed in my inbox. This email contains a set of direct access links for me to be able to view my chosen documents. We can see by just clicking there, it'll open the document in the browser again. Now, my customer preferences are used by Columbus to dictate whether I'm receiving document direct access links or simply a notification that my documents are ready for me to view through the customer portal. And within the portal, you can see that once a document has been viewed, it's removed from the new documents list, but it's still available to see in the all or historic documents list.
Absolutely. Thanks, Phil. Now let's see how that affects the back end view when the management information comes in, the embedded business intelligence, which we'll touch on later on. If I refresh the list, keep an eye on the viewed status just here. So if I refresh the list, and then I have a direct view in this particular case because I use the same link for the email as well as the portal itself. But we now know that on a certain date that the customer has gone and viewed that particular document, and there is more detailed history for the date and time, you know, what sort of things happened here, but we've taken that document and we know that it's been processed through. What I'm going to do now then is let's bring in some of the further orchestration. I mentioned this process of, rather than you as the finance user having to chase the document or chase the customer to be able to view their documents and pay them, what we're going to do is bring in some orchestration features. So I'm going to take this particular document. What I'm going to do is simulate that the document has been archived in the past, and thereby bringing in some further processes. So I'm going to set the date back that this was archived back into June, the start of June. That's happened. And so what will happen now is that the process runs in the background, checks the status of the document, and a reminder situation will happen where the end user will get a reminder process.
Yeah, so again, as the customer, I've received a reminder email for my unviewed documents, and I can take action from there by viewing the document with my chosen method. So whether that's go directly into the portal or via the direct access links as we've done before.
Great, Phil, thank you. So if I now then look at the all documents again, the process itself has now picked up this particular invoice has been viewed without the staff, me as the finance user, having to pick up the phone, send an email, that side of things. The orchestration of the events has happened. So further from there, what I'm going to do is just pick up a further point where I'm going to mark some documents as paid. So this is going to be simulating a process happening where the finance system the information from the finance system is being linked into Columbus to say that these documents have now been paid. So the paid status comes up over here, to then say that the documents are paid. Here we go. There's one paid and another one and another one. So Phil, how does that affect the end customer from there?
Yeah, so with the end customer, as I've sent in my remittance, paid my invoice, the Columbus system will sort of provide that automatic orchestration, and it will send out to me a confirmation email thanking me for my business, confirmation of payment, and thanking me for my business. So you get a bit of value add in the customer relationship arena as well.
Yeah, that's right. And from both sides of things, the finance user, you know what's going on. From the customer, you know what's going on with the payment status and that side of things. And further in the background, an extract of the invoice data has been sent to the larger customer's FTP site for automated ingestion within their payment system. Okay, so let's switch back to where we were. A further point here that Columbus really is a platform for digital transformation. The different levels of technology that we've talked about, Columbus Central for digital process orchestration, Columbus DW for enterprise content management, that's where we saw the finance users, and also DocSite, which you actually saw in the background, but which is intelligent document composition. That's where we took the raw invoice data and composed end user documents automatically. Enterprise output management, Columbus OM, which is picking up the spool data from your systems. No need to integrate at deeper levels if we can get the spool data. And further, the embedded business intelligence with Columbus Accounting that enabled us to pick up the status of the invoices, share that within the business. And that leads us to be able to provide multi-channel engagement, enable compliance, and also provide operational resilience. And from the customer side of things, there's a deep personalized experience. Thank you very much for the payment. And all in all, Columbus as a platform for digital transformation enables rapid deployment. Okay, so we've now got to the stage where any questions that have come in will have come up. Let me just have a look to check to see if we had any come through. Yeah, there's a couple of registered there. So Sarah, first of all, thank you very much for your question. You've asked that you sent an email out. What other ways of sending documents out are there? Well, Phil, I'm going to pass the hot potato on to you for this one and put you on the spot and ask you to answer that one.
Okay, thanks, Sam. Good question, Sarah. So essentially, Columbus uses different digital channels. We normally send direct access links or point customers to the portal via whatever digital channel you prefer or you'll be using. However, one of the benefits of using Columbus is that it can provide orchestration of multiple channels. So what I mean by this is that a customer might receive an initial communication via email, but they might receive a reminder or follow-up via SMS, for example. Okay, so I hope that that sort of gives you an idea there. As we've been talking as well, I've just got another question has come in. This is from Ben. This is on the chat as well. Ben says, you talked about sending document extract to larger customer FTP sites. Can you explain more, please? Well, Sam, you passed me the last one, so this one's going over to you, I'm afraid.
Okay, thanks, Phil. Nothing like thinking on the fly here. Okay, so Sarah, Ben, thanks for your question. Another good question. So we can extract the document data into different formats, but the popular ones are CSV and XML with generic templates that could be used by your customers' finance applications. And by generic templates, what we mean by that is we'll publish all of the information from the document into the extract, and then that's just linked through say Sage, SAP, that side of things, just by mapping the relevant fields. And the user preferences define the FTP details to give a secure delivery. So further, whilst we've been talking, it looks like we've jogged somebody else's question here. Arnav, thank you very much for your question. Arnav, you've got your own website. How can we integrate document views and not necessarily just finance documents into our site? Another good question. We had 3 great questions here. Thank you, folks. Phil, you've worked on this recently within a customer, haven't you?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, in the demo we showed a website using the Columbus web services, but there's also the Columbus self-service portal, and that can be standalone or inserted into your existing website using an iframe. So options there. Okay. Okay, so I think that wraps up the questions. There didn't seem to be any more, and so we're moving on. So in terms of next steps, then your client services consultant, and that's Sam or myself, will contact you shortly to get your views on the webinar and how it relates to your business, and most importantly, how we can help.
Great, thank you, Phil. Thanks for your help with that as well. As we mentioned, here's the link to the IT Leaders Survey, and we'll leave that on the screen for a short while. Once again, thank you very much for your attendance.